I don't know how much battery I have got, so it may cut out. Let's talk about human nature. Rather fascinating creatures, aren't we? Creatures of habit. Habit is a very interesting thing, isn't it? Habit is the repeated actions that we live by that end up ironically killing us for the most part. And old habits die hard. Old habits die hard. That might be the reason why it's very challenging to meet people, especially in today's world, with all the various identities people have associated themselves with, to break through the reality tunnel and say, did you know that the habits you are engaging in are actually keeping you enslaved to a matrix of energy harvesting? Oh, well, you might meet some people who say, you're one of those conspiracy theorists. I base my life on scientific fact. And you know, everything in my environment is factual and peer-reviewed and scientific. And I have all the answers to all the questions. And, well, we call that pride, don't we? That's pride. False pride. There's nothing wrong with having pride in a genuine talent, a genuine, in the right amount, at the right time, etc. However, this pride, this absolute certainty that we have it right when someone wakes up and views that particular habit or individual, they don't. And of course, we have to approach that with compassion, with love, with shining a light, with offering with compassionate guidance to give an alternative to this nightmare we find ourselves in. But remember, old habits die hard, and when you go to share truth with someone, sometimes it's better to not say anything, because they're actually going to twist your words, they're going to gaslight you, and they're going to tell you that's just your belief. There is really no ultimate truth. There is no natural law. There are no laws of God. It's really just what you believe. I live in Ubud, which is the capital of New Age gaslighting and fake spirituality. And what I feel the Creator has done in my life, I've been put here to challenge that. With love, of course, with satire, with compassion, because I've been in challenging moments in my life where I've been very low moments, and I've received compassion and guidance, and I've overcome it. And I know for a fact that when you're in those moments of confusion, distortion, addiction, the only thing that's really going to pull you out is the hand of mercy and the hand of compassion. That may be assertive, it may be straight, it may be direct, but it's not condemning you. It's not saying you're going to go to hell for doing this. That's not my role here. My role here isn't to come here and condemn people and say you're going to go to hell because you believe this and you believe that and you're eating this and you're eating that and you follow that way and that's not my role here. What I can say is, may I give you some advice? If we engage in these actions, we're more likely to create a hell rather than a heaven for ourselves. And karma is real. Karma in Sanskrit means action. And you reap what you sow. What you put out comes back. It's a very simple law of nature that every single religion and philosophy in its core is addressing, hopefully. And yet, even amongst those religions that teach about spirituality, God's laws, compassion, righteousness, most of the people who say they adhere to it do not. And as Christ said, faith without works is dead, right? Our works, our actions, our habits are what truly define us, far more than just beliefs and invisible thought forms that definitely do not lead to our salvation. Salvation is a combination of faith and action in a beautiful alliance. And of course, not everyone can walk the absolute path of purification and righteousness, but everyone can do their best, given their circumstances. And hopefully they can have compassionate guides in their life and compassion along the way, because only when compassion is present, as I believe it was Gabor Mate quoting, only when compassion is present will people allow themselves to see the truth. Okay, but the ultimate compassion we need is to let the compassion of our Almighty Creator into our lives to guide us. Because people say to me, how do you know these things? Oh, it's just your belief. Or where did you find that information? I said, from the God inside of you, inside of me. It's written in the fabric of our DNA. The book of life is written inside us. The Bible, the most holiest scriptures, the hidden texts, even in the Vatican Library, the things they don't want you to read. But you can read them inside your own soul. And guess what? They're far more simple truths than we've been led to believe. The truth in terms of how we should treat each other, what we should eat, the way we should engage nature and life and prayer and the angels of heaven. These is, even though it's such an infinitely beyond comprehension creation, the way that we engage it is simple. Through humility, through simple practices, through moderation, through purification, through fasting where we can, through cleansing where we can, through just being kind to people, through sharing, through charity, through doing the best that we can for our community, through seeing the lightness in life rather than being so serious and heavy and taking our ego identities so seriously. I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm a politician, I'm a professor, I'm a nutrition expert. Everyone wants to be something, but no one wants to be nothing. No one wants to be infinite because it's not comfortable to step outside of our reality tunnels and consider the fact that we are the whole show, baby. There's nothing wrong with saying you're a this or a that, so long as you know that the I am precedes the I am something. Before Abraham was, I am. And so I see everywhere this matrix of illusions saturated with these people claiming they're experts on this and they're experts on that. And there's only a few I listen to who I feel they're worth the candle. Many of them are just still doing good works out there, but only a few. And most of the people who call themselves, as I say, lawyers, teachers, politicians, even parents, they're not fulfilling what it really means to uphold that title. And even if they did truly uphold it, they would stop calling themselves that because they'd know that ultimately the talent, the skill is coming from our Most High, and the Christ energy, the Spirit energy gifted to us from our Most High. The manifestation of all life here comes from that. The manifestation of all goodness, of all talents, of all creation comes from that. That infinite life force, that infinitely malleable, eternal energy, the etheric energy, the eternal seed inside all of God's creation, that depending on how, through our own free will, we engage, leads to harmony, consecration, or disharmony, desecration, destruction, rather than construction, expansion, as in many eons we have lived. Maybe not even so long ago, if you know about the Tartaria stuff, even if it was called Tartaria. The free energy, Christ consciousness, call it an empire that was reigning here. But you know, it doesn't take long for something, in the grand scheme of things, to eventually turn sour if it's not maintained properly through righteousness, discipline, and, you know, living truly in the Tao and not allowing ourselves to be tricked by the forces of darkness, the Luciferic forces, the mind worms that want to get inside us and set up a colonization. They want to colonize us. You know, we learn in history, in his story, about the colonizers. Oh, they colonized here, they colonized there, the French Empire, the English Empire, the Spanish Empire, the now American Empire, the military-industrial complex, the pharmaceutical-industrial complex, these colonizations, these invasions, trying to get inside, trying to infiltrate the lands and poison them and control them and turn them into a computer chip. When you fly over a city, you see it. It's a computer chip. It's an energy harvesting farm. It's been mined. That's why we're under mind control. And we're being undermined. And this world has been mined. There once were huge trees reaching for the heavens, made arguably of silicon. The oxygen was so high that the beings here were far larger than we are now. The capacity for consciousness and for manifestation was far beyond what we, if we stay stuck in just believing we're poor little me, can fathom. So, we have to realize that the real Christian, the real Sufi or Buddha or whatever you want to call it, the true essence within us must be understood, understood, nourished, and properly allowed to ascend. I call it ascension. Through righteous living, through not pretending we're all these false identities, through false gurus and false this, false that, fake that, money making, business, corporations, all these schemes that stop us from realizing the Christ inside us is the real currency first, before anything else. But that doesn't pay the bills. Have compassion. I've still got things to pay for. And I've had help along the way, and I'm eternally grateful for that help. I got things to pay for in the matrix, let's say. But I know it's an illusion. And I know love comes first. And I know that's what man is measured by when all is said and done. The love in our hearts, how we help each other, how we stand up for truth and justice, and how we don't just succumb to this fake spiritual bullshit that's trying, and fake intellectualism and fake this, fake that. All these corridors of distraction and illusion. Even at university, what do they give you? They give you a degree. They don't give you all 360. And guess what? When you go to the real university of life, you get all 360. But that requires your diligence, your perseverance, your devotion, your study of nature, or being truly humble and listening to the nature and observing. Wow, fruit trees everywhere. I wonder why that. They offer their food. You know, it's a beautiful offering from our Most High. It's the highest vibrational food. It's the most biophoton containing food. It's the highest in water. It's the highest for hydration and cleaning our bodies. Okay, not everyone could just suddenly eat lots of fruit. But hey, the fruit sugar is the most cleansing and purest, as long as it's organic, food for the human organism to get our bodies flowing, to get the bile flowing, the cerebral spinal fluid flowing, the blood flowing, all the rivers of the body. Need to be flowing. The lymphatic system needs to be flowing. All of our problems are coming from improper flow. And when we're not flowing correctly, well, then that's why we end up getting stuck in this schizophrenic state, and suddenly I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm a this, I'm a that. I'm going to change my name. I'm now a deity. I'm now Shiva, I'm Ganesh, I'm from this lineage, I'm a that, I'm a that. Hey, there is real, true spiritual royalty, but it's accessed through humility and through honoring God's laws and creation. It's not accessed through making false assumptions, just believing you are the god of the realm, the goddess of the realm, because you learned something about some Egyptian gods in a workshop someone charged you $1,000 for, when you could have gone to nature, listened up, because we've been given 2 ears, not 2 mouths. We should listen more than we speak. We've been given 2 eyes, 1 mouth. We should observe more than we speak. If we do that, we find out for ourselves. That's what I'm trying to get to, my brothers and sisters. Find out for yourself the Christ within you and manifest from within you. Because you're more than your trauma, you're more than your pain, you're more than these false identities. You're this infinite being, and I have compassion. It doesn't just happen overnight to feel that and to connect to that. It's painful. You have to go through and visit those shadows. You have to allow the energies to come up again instead of burying them and just assuming you already healed it and you already solved it, when you're just digging it deeper by being in that state of schizophrenia. You have to undig it now. Bring it back to the surface. Let the light shine on it. It's painful to shine the light on a fresh wound. It's painful to put the healing agents on it. It begins with pain. Addiction begins with pain and ends with pain. We can't escape that. It's more painful to try and escape it. The surest way to go to hell is to try and run away from hell. So all of these distortions, mucus festering inside us, it needs a cleaning. It needs attention. It needs love. It needs light. It needs real guidance, not fake. Come to my meditation and just close your eyes and now you're God. come to my breath work, just breathe, we won't learn about natural law, how to clean the body and free the channels so that you can actually receive the breath correctly, and then it won't be breath work, it'll be breath play. No, let's force the issue. Let's do Kundalini, let's force it, mantra, move a certain way, yeah. I'm better than God. I don't have to live by God's laws. I don't have to do things naturally, you know? No, we can't do that. We can't cheat the system. When you play a video game and you try and cheat it and play it with the cheat codes, you know, it feels good for the time being. When you complete it, you're like, this feels like something's missing. I didn't really do it. I didn't do it genuinely. I didn't complete the game properly. You know, we're looking for the cheat codes. Everyone's looking for the cheat codes, the quick way out, the quick drug, the quick fix, the quick cleanse, the quick this, the quick that. You know, it doesn't work. The more you approach life from that approach, the quicker you accelerate your demise. So we can't rely on any quick fixes, at least not for our long-term salvation. We must understand as natural law that when we actually live by it, when we eat simply, when we clean our bodies, when we do our best to get the mucus out the bodies, when we do our best to get flowing, when we do our best to free ourselves and our channels and forgive and purify, then suddenly the identities we're assuming, they dissolve off into the imaginary world that they came from. And now our imagination is free to actually tap into the infinite and manifest the true spirit of the Christ within, rather than just be slaves to this low frequency, entity feeding, entity harvesting, false entertainment matrix that just, you know, you can go out anywhere you want and go and eat in a restaurant anywhere you want and pick up a menu, it's food porn, you think, oh wow, I'm so free, I get to choose what I want to eat. But are you really free? Or is this just set up to give you the illusion you're free? Right? You can choose what football team to support. You can choose who's your hero, who's your icon, who's your favorite movie star. What movie am I going to watch today? I've got my Netflix subscription. I've got my sports subscription. Oh yeah, wow, I'm so free. This isn't freedom. This is ensnaring the soul from realizing its true potential. That's what it's there for. And some of it, by all means, enjoy it in moderation, but understand it's just a hoax. And it's feeding forces that most of us don't even know exist. And I have compassion for that. You know, waking up to that there's other forces other than just us as a physical, we're all energy, you know, we're just vibrating at a certain frequency. That's why we all see each other the way we do. We're operating from that frequency, but when you change your frequency and you realize the infinite nature of reality, suddenly the spirit world is realer than this world, or at least, you know, comes before this world, and everything proceeds first from spirit before it becomes the matter. And so we have to study the invisible to understand the visible, you know. And then these things will become very self-explanatory, axiomatic. It's pretty obvious that when you see someone like a Donald Trump or an Elon Musk talking, it's not just them talking. When I'm talking to people about the importance of not eating meat, not eating flesh, of observing the true laws of our God, you know, monogamy, truly understanding why children need to grow up in a monogamous family as opposed to polygamous, because it damages their mindset and it stops them from being able to truly manifest their own potential, because now they're dealing with the trauma of being confused that their parents are sleeping around, which, by the way, STD really means spiritually transmitted disease. You shouldn't be going to plug into this person, plug into that person, because of pleasure, all in the name of pleasure. It's about devotion to one partner when it comes to that game. You know, there are real laws our Creator has given us in terms for our consciousness expansion, for us to be our greatest versions, and ultimately for us to raise children who are going to be who they truly came here to be. But instead, we're incarnating the same story of trauma because we don't want to get to the bottom of these things. We want to pretend there's no God. We want to say we're atheists. I have compassion. It's a confusing world. But it's pretty obvious when you wake up, even a small percentage, that of course there's a creator. Just study DNA and the infinite nature of it, and how remarkable it is, and how someone could even engineer that. And then show me a man who can make a DNA the way God has. You can copy what God has done, but you'll never make original. Only our Creator can do that. And the Creator moving through us allows us to come up with original technologies and original, but it's always still because of our Creator. When man tries to do things himself and deny the Creator, it just becomes a monstrous AI machine transhumanist nightmare. And that's where we are right now. But it's okay, because Christ always wins in the end. And we're all being given the opportunity to choose. Transhumanism, Christ. Suffering and death, life and creation. We are in a dualistic realm. There's no bypassing that. But the only way to truly overcome that battle of good and evil is to first understand it exists on this level of existence. And to do our best to purge the evils and our darkness that we've not acknowledged, and to do our best in the name of the Most High. So yeah, for those who have stuck around and listened to everything that I've had to say, and for those who haven't, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. I have so many more things to say, but at the same time, ultimately, what's it all worth, eh? All I can say is, love is the way, the truth, and the life, and no one gets to the Father and the Mother of creation but through love. True love, real unconditional love for all, not just for one being, one person, one thing, one religion, one doctrine. The love for the totality of creation. So, Hare Krishna to you, and I wish you well, and until I make another video, take it easy, my brothers and sisters.